Welcome to another edition of SVG Sports Tech On Demand. I'm Jason Dackman, Chief Editor at SVG, and we're chatting with one of the more exciting organizations in the sports media industry right now, especially over the last year, Silver Spoon Animation. We've got Dan Pack and Laura Herzing from Silver Spoon. Dan, Laura, thanks so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So guys, Silver Spoon has been behind some of the coolest projects when it comes to virtual graphics, AR, XR, whatever you want to call it, over the past year. Tell us, Dan, why don't you start? Tell us a little bit about just what some of those projects have been so people get an idea of what you guys are about.
Cool. Thanks, Jason. So Silver Spoon, we've traditionally been, and we started actually as a motion capture and visual effects support company. And in the last 3 years, we started integrating Unreal Engine primarily as the visualization tool when we're making movies or video games or TV shows. And then in the last, couple years or so, we started recognizing the benefits of using Unreal for live AR, live 3D AR, XR, VR, all that sort of stuff, in being able to basically have a more immersive graphics experience for the viewer. In real time. So doing things that would normally take hours and days and weeks in post visual effects, we're bringing to audiences completely live using real-time tracked cameras, real-time lighting and visual effects and compositing, 3D simulation and animation. And we're basically exploring all the different ways that we can do that in broadcast sports.
Very cool. And you guys were a part of the cool Sandman project at the top of the Super Bowl this year, and the virtual fans that Fox and Major League Baseball had when there were some empty ballparks, things that really caught the eye. So Laura, I'm curious, now that Unreal has become a widely accepted tool within the sports media and sports production industry, and these real-time AR experiences are, I think, starting to really engage fans. How do you see the use of what you guys do kind of evolving for sports production?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, Unreal is something that we've been working with for many years now. So we've seen applications of it across a wide range of industries, but within the last year, really gotten heavily involved in applying it in the sports marketing industry. And I think just in sports and in broadcast generally, it really opens up the possibilities of what you can do in real time, in camera. I know we kind of started off with doing virtual fans, but as Dan mentioned, we've moved that into a wide range of visual effects, simulation, 3D graphics. And I just see that continuing even beyond hopefully the time when real fans can be back in the stadium. I think that the real-time possibilities that Unreal gives broadcasters will continue to be explored in so many different directions to help augment the experience of the sport that you're watching on the screen.
Right. It adds that whole nother level, both literally and metaphorically. But Dan, what are you seeing as I'm sure that there's been a lot of interest from, broadcasters and sports media companies coming and saying, hey, I saw what you guys did with so-and-so, we'd love to try to explore. What are some of the things that people are coming to you and saying, we would love to have this or this element, this type of feature?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it's all about the kind of the convergence of technology now. So, again, doing things that would normally take a long time in post visual effects and doing it real time, like we did with the Super Bowl, with particle simulation, football player exploding into a bunch of little pieces, crowd simulation, like the work that we've done for Fox Sports and others. And then I think, we're kind of turning a really interesting corner now, especially with Unreal, their new metahuman technology that allows really, really realistic, photorealistic characters. We're kind of borrowing on all these different trades that are in industries that are working in XR and visual effects with big LED walls. And we're seeing how can we take bits and pieces from all these different industries and explore it for use in real-time sports broadcasting, whether that's going to be doing some really cool stuff with stat integration, with real-time stats, or just, fun eye candy for the viewer. I think it's really just about looking at all these different forms of entertainment outside sports and thinking, how can we inject some of that fun and some of that dazzle into the broadcast without taking away from the game itself?
Right, right. And, I'm curious, Laura, as executive producer over there, Dan just mentioned there's, kind of these two pillars when it comes to AR and stuff, right? There's the eye candy, the fun stuff. Oh, man, this looks awesome. And then there's sort of the storytelling data piece, and integrating stats and data and that type of thing. So as a creative person, how do those two things kind of meld when it comes to AR? How do you try to create elements that both tell the story as well as kind of impress the eye and offer that eye candy?
Well, I think one thing that we always try to keep in mind is that AR should enhance the viewing experience, but not take away from it. So every project that we're working on, we're approaching with a mindset of, why are we doing this? Why are we creating this? What is this going to add to the viewing experience to help give AR a purpose? I mean, sometimes it is just eye candy, and that's really fun stuff to create.
Right.
But especially with integrating, stats and real-time data, we're giving the viewer not only a beautiful thing to look at, but something that's informative and enhances the experience of watching the game.
Right. Well, if there's anything that we've learned over the last year, the last year has accelerated all of these trends that we were seeing leading up to the pandemic, and AR and virtual elements being a huge one of them. I think we're obviously going to see it across sports moving forward. So we're excited to see what Silver Spoon has coming down the line. But for now, guys, we really appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much for your time, and stay safe out there. Okay.
Thanks, you. You too.